bro, she made me brownies
Serious?
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
touch not?
Touch where?
Touch, bro. As in, do you feel more attracted to her now? After all, they say that the way to a man's heart is through style.
Oh really? So am I gonna fall for her just because she cooked food for me?
I think to a certain extent, yeah, it's true.
No. Why? Because I think that there's other things involved, such as, love and attraction. I think food is a really big part of that. If you go out socially to eat together, I think that's an important thing, but I don't think that that's the only thing to the way to a man's heart.
Personally, yes, because as you can see, I'm not in the best kind of shape, so I like to eat. So if a girl is like feeding me good food all the time, that's the way to go, man. A girl after my own heart, yeah.
The study's hypothesis is that women tend to opt for older husbands who are good providers, while men prefer younger wives who are good homemakers. It assumes that people desire a mate who will enable them to minimize costs and maximize benefits associated with life outcomes by envisioning their future roles. However, the domestic and employment roles have begun to converge for both males and females. 2 experiments have been conducted in accordance with the study. First, participants were randomly sampled from Northwestern University campus. Results showed that participants would prefer a spouse who could complement their assigned marital role. The second experiment was meant to address the different interpretation of full-time employment and also the issue of women as secondary earners. The results resembled Experiment 1, and findings for secondary provider are closer to homemakers, which suggests participants regard spouses employed part-time as having considerate responsibility for domestic work. Study 2 examines the relationship between commensality and marriage, when new patterns of joint spousal food consumption are typically established. There were 2 phases of interviews, one before or around the time of marriage and another about 1 year later. 20 couples were selected aged between 20 and 75 years, with the vast majority in their 20s or 30s. The interview format was flexible and was directed by the informant's responses. There were 3 main areas of findings. Firstly, developing a commensal unit. Based on the inputs gathered through interviews, shared food time increased as partners became more involved with each other at the most committed stages of their relationship. Secondly, establishing intra-marriage commensality. With cohabitation and marriage, meals became more regular, and the establishment of daily and weekly commensal schedules were integral to the couple's commensal relationship. Lastly, managing extramarital commensality. It was found that partners managed extramarital commensal circles by combining their former eating networks, with family members emerging as major participants.
I think eating is like a very personal time with the alone or with the people, because you not only eat, you talk, you open up during meals, and you can create meaningful conversations during mealtime. You foster better relationships. Yeah.
So it's like taking time out of your life to spend with each other.
I think it's when you eat with somebody and then you spend that quality time with that person, and then you talk about your day. It's like a bonding session. Yeah.
While the myth has not been fully explored by researchers, we argue that the myth has been debunked as there are other ways to a man's heart, and not just with the provision of food. 1. It is not the action of providing food, but rather the activity of sharing food and the time spent together that builds the relationship. 2. While domesticity plays a part in choosing a mate, this is less relevant today. As the roles are starting to converge, it can be said that men's preference for females to fill a traditional role is diminishing.
Hey, definitely, man. I'll make a very good pasta, when she comes, my pasta, your pasta, my sukasa, your sukasa, Yeah, I'm proud of my cooking skills too. Yeah.
Does Maggi noodle count?